Hello, welcome to Lessons On with yours truly, Nomfanelo. So, of this segment, I will be talking about writing an active monologue for film and TV. So, this video specifically is part one, which focuses on defining the active monologue, and I will provide examples in terms of what is and what is not an active monologue. So before I begin, I just want to do a brief bio on myself. So for those of you that don't know me, so I am a writer, director, producer, and sometimes actor from Ottawa, Canada. I have a BA in theater with a minor in film studies from University of Ottawa, and I have a graduate certificate in scriptwriting from Algonquin College. So after Algonquin, I did some jobs as a script reader for Chestnut Bermuda Productions, which was an internship, and Pomegranate Pictures, which was a volunteer job. So those were pretty much focusing on movie of the week type of stuff. And I currently, since 2020, I work as a script reader for Coverfly. So essentially, I review submissions, whether it's for contests or general submissions, either in film, TV, sometimes plays, manuscripts, and pitch documents. So I also I co-wrote, a short film called The Coin, which premiered at the Digi60 Film Festival back in 2018, which placed in the top 5. And in 2020, I wrote, directed, produced Breathe, which is a poetic short film, premiered at the festival at Digi60. So that is available on my YouTube channel for you guys to check out. And since 2021, I host and create podcasts called Rediscovered Movies, essentially where each episode focuses on a different movie that's overlooked that I recommend for the audience. So also check out that one as well too. So now let's go on to what is an active monologue. So active monologue is a type of monologue where it's delivered by a character with the intention of achieving a goal or to take action. So just like a monologue, it's uninterrupted and it's in the present tense. So you see, like in some like movie or TV clips, like when a character delivers a monologue, you have some characters do reactions, whether it's just like a physical reaction or they'll say something. So I find that's fine if you want to do that for your monologue, as long as it doesn't turn into a full conversation. And really with the active monologue, it's really about the art of persuasion. So the character is either trying to persuade or dissuade another character or a group of characters to either do something or avoid doing it. And like any monologue, you could have twists and turns and reveals. So let's look at some examples. So example number 1 here. So this here is a SNL monologue, Saturday Night Live monologue that's delivered by Tiffany Haddish. And I say it is not an active monologue because really it's more of a stand-up performance, because the goal really for an SNL monologue usually is to tell jokes. I mean, yes, like you do have like a story, but really like the goal is to make people laugh. I mean, which is fine for your monologue if you want to, if it's a comedic, but but yeah, usually like with SNL, like there's no arc per se. And here, like, yeah, there's a lot of physical movement, which is like, which could be accepted, but it needs to be like a part of the monologue rather than just having movement for the sake of movement. And yes, and with this monologue with SNL, usually they address to the audience, not just to those that's in the room, but also for those that are watching it at home. Because usually with a active monologue or any like monologue, the character delivers it to another character or a group of characters. So let's go on to example number 2, which is the room, where Johnny essentially says, I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark. So, which is one of many moments from that film. So, this is not an active monologue. So, because there's because mainly it's a soliloquy, because Johnny, he is talking to himself out loud rather than addressing Mark, which he did with the last sentence. um and also too, yeah, there's a lot of like incoherent dialogue, because like he's just like voicing his frustrations, and also too, you don't see like an arc from beginning to end, because yes, like we know that he's frustrated after Lisa, his fiance, accuses him of hitting her to someone, and and yeah, like it's just not well thought out like as a monologue. And yeah, and basically like there's no direction, because it's more like, I would say, like a mini rant, but he's speaking to himself rather than speaking to Mark, which I think that was in the intention to, but he did not. And last example, let's look at Taken. Now, this is like the infamous scene where this is after when his daughter Kim gets kidnapped during her trip overseas, where he overhears that conversation, and essentially he is saying to the kidnapper on the phone, "Oh, I don't have any money, but what I do have is a very particular set of skills that make me a nightmare." And he's like, if you let her go, that'll be the end of it. I won't pursue you. But if you don't, it's like, I will find you, I will kill you. And I think that's like a brilliant moment. So this is obviously an active monologue. So, because here we have a clear goal, because Brian, he wants to convince the kidnapper to free his daughter Kim after she's been taken. But the problem is that he does not know who the kidnapper is or where Kim is. So, sorry, lost my thought. So the arc really here with Brian, he's very determined to get his daughter back. So he, like, at the beginning, he how can I say this? Like, he's not like calm, but essentially like he's saying like, hey, please, like, let my daughter go. But then, like, when we get towards the end, he becomes a bit more menacing, saying, hey, if you don't let her go, I will hunt you down, find you, and kill you. And then it ends with the kidnapper saying, good luck, essentially calling his bluff. So I do recommend you guys check out that scene in that movie if you have not. So questions, like, so when you guys write the monologue, here are some questions that the active monologue should address. Who is the character speaking? So who's going to be delivering the monologue? what problem or problems arise for this character to speaking character. Why is the character telling the story? So essentially, why is the character delivering the monologue? When is this happening in terms of time of day? Is it in the morning, afternoon, night? Or is this during the present? Or is this way back in the past, like 18th century, 20th century? Also, too, where is this happening? Is this happening in the speaking character's house? Or is it in public, in private? Also, to whom is the character speaking to? Like, who is the character delivering the monologue towards? Like, is it someone they know, or is it a complete stranger? And how does the character resolve the problem? So essentially, what methods does the character use to try to address their issue? And the problem like doesn't have like to be resolved right away, but it could be something that could, be considered later on. So that's pretty much it for this video. So the next video will be part 2, which I call the who, the what, and the why, which essentially focuses on character, the speaking character, like who they are, like their relationship to the recipient, like the person that's, like the listener, essentially, and the purpose of their monologue. So essentially from part 2 on, I will be using Raul Silva, who's the antagonist in Skyfall, as like the main example, but I will have some other examples. And I do recommend you guys read the screenplay for Skyfall, and also to check out the movie, which I'll post a link in the description. So, and also to just to note that there will be spoilers for Skyfall. So if you have not seen the movie, I highly recommend you check that out. So I want you guys to say thank you guys so much for tuning in to this video, and you get my link to my socials will be in the description. And if you guys have any questions or comments, please post them below, and I'll be happy to answer them. And see you on the next one.